Hi, you guys. I'm Marty Pettiford with eXp Realty, your Atlanta real estate expert. And today I am bringing back Myron Fears from Guaranteed Rate. He's my preferred lender, and he's going to talk about today some of the things that you need to have on hand when you are applying for a mortgage. So these steps or these documents are things that will make the process so much more easier for you to complete the loan application, as well as be prepared to actually move forward in the pre-approval process. So Myron, give us a breakdown of all the things that someone needs when they come to apply at your website.
Yeah, so thank you for having me again. So first step, it's easier. It's a better peace of mind for you and a better quality of life. Getting an application in, that's the first step. We try not to ask for anything that we don't have to, but it makes the whole process, it makes it very smooth for all parties. So typically what I like to do is get an application on my website. You can do it on your phone or on your computer. It's very, very easy. It only takes you about 5 minutes or so.
Here's the website.
To get all your information in there, get all the stuff, get our baselines for what we need. So we're typically looking for about 3 things. We want to verify your credit. We will take care of that on our end, so that's easy peasy. You did that with the application. Outside of that, we're going to look at your income. So typically, just depending on how you're paid, we're going to look for your pay stubs showing the money that's coming in on a monthly basis. And then we're going to look for about a 2-year history to verify your income over the most recent 2 years, okay? So that can be in the form of W-2s, business tax returns, or personal tax returns. And just depending on how you're paid, again, depending on which items we'll need for you. Outside of that, we will verify your assets. If you're doing a refinance, this typically doesn't apply to you, but if you are doing a purchase, then we will be looking for your assets as far as your bank accounts, where the down payment's coming from. So one thing I typically hear is, oh, I have money over here, over there. We only need what's needed for cash to close, okay? So we don't need all of your assets, just the one you're going to be using. Cash on hand is not good. We like to get that stuff figured out first, but those are some of the items that help the process. One, the better this process is filled out, the better I can make it a smooth process to make sure we get to the closing table on time or early.
So I'm glad that you touched on that, and we'll do it real quick. Let's talk about a big no-no when you're talking about cash on hand.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that in the seasoning process of cash, because this is important. Some people don't know this.
Absolutely. So again, transparency is where it all starts. The more you're upfront with me and tell me exactly what's going on, the better I can advise you to help you get into the home of your dreams. So as far as assets, some of the big things that happen is people have cash on hand. So, depending on the client, they like to keep cash, they don't like credit or something like that. They'll have cash, or they have almost like mattress money.
Yeah.
Those are big no-nos. We can't have that in the process because underwriters their financial entities want to make sure you're not doing any type of illegal activity. And so we're asking, typically we want to see about 2 months worth of history of the assets being in your account. Again, showing that history that, hey, you have a running line of credit, or not line of credit, but cash on hand or cash in your bank account to support the cash to close. So that's what we're looking for. Outside of that, any money coming in, underwriters really don't like that. So from other jobs, side jobs, they typically don't like that, or any other family members or friends giving you money for items. Those are big no-nos. We don't like to see that.
So one story time real quick. When I purchased my first home, I won a game show, and I won $50,000 on that game show. So I put the check in my bank account, and I immediately started shopping for a home, and I let my mortgage lender know, which wasn't Myron at the time, but I let him know, hey, I won this money from a game show, and they're like, okay, that's fine. It had been less than a month and I put the money in the account. And so the thing that the underwriters just asked me for was my award letter. So when you win money on game shows, they give you an award letter for your tax purposes and things like this. And it explained, this is where the money came from, and this is her money, it's not illegal. And so that was a good explanation that got me around that situation. So if you do have a situation like that, I don't know if you won any game shows lately, but you just have to have a paper trail of where the money came from, why you got the money, and just to make sure, like you said, it's not illegal.
And you're 100% right, a paper trail. That's the main thing that underwriters want to be able to do. So obviously life happens, maybe an inheritance comes along, maybe a family member just says, hey, look, I won the lottery, here you go.
Yeah.
Things like that. The underwriter just wants to be able to say, hey, you're not doing anything illegal. That's the main thing. Selling a car, we just want to be able to paper trail that, hey, look, you got what's fair for that market. Let's say you sold a car or something like that. We want to make sure that that actually is happening, that you actually sold it for what it's worth, and where that money came from. Really, that's the big thing. And where mattress money comes a little bit tricky because you don't have a paper trail. You kind of just take it out and put it there. We can't really track it. The underwriters can't verify that that's actually your assets.
Yeah, so the only way around that is to have that money already in your account at least 2 months before you even apply for a loan.
Correct.
So it's in the bank statements when you give him the bank statements to apply. So
so we want to verify it.
It's already verified at that point.
Yes.
So thank you so much for sharing that information. Is there anything else that people should know about the pre-approval process and items that they need?
Outside of that, just try not to change too much things. Try not to change anything from the application to while you're to when you get on the contract. That throws a little bit of a wrench in things, meaning don't go open a credit card while you're, it's not just when you're under contract, but when you apply to, because we're going to be looking at everything, a comprehensive view of all of your financials. So we're going to look at your bank statements. We're going to look at the pay stubs. We really don't want you to change anything. So meaning, hey, don't open a credit card to pay for your inspections when they come. I've seen that happen before. Don't do that. Don't take out money, say, hey, I'm going to pull the money out in cash. He already has my bank statements. Don't pull the money out in cash and say, oh, I'm just going to give the title company or the lawyer's office cash. Don't do anything. Keep everything in the same because we're pre-approving you off of that snapshot. So you don't want to change that at all, just so we can keep everything pretty smooth for you.
Yeah, and if you have any questions or, are trying to figure out if you should do something or not, just, give your loan officer, your realtor a call, and they'll be able to guide you in the right direction that it doesn't derail your closing.
For sure. We love calls. Call us anytime because at the end of the day, we're a resource for you to make this smooth. We all want it to be a smooth process. Call us, say, hey, is this okay? And we don't mind the calls. We prefer those calls than finding out right before closing and it's throwing a wrench in everything.
Yeah. So that was great information. I'm sure a lot of people got so much value from that. So if you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you want information on how to apply for a loan or if you're ready to take that next step, Myron's information is in the description below. And as far as me, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok at Martyloveshomes. See you next time.